Hello and welcome back to Dance Colleges and Careers. I'm your host, Brittany Noltemeyer. This is the podcast where we give you tips and tricks on how to navigate that college application process. All right, welcome back. This episode is crucial for all aspiring dancers. This is how to create a winning portfolio. So whether you're dreaming of attending a prestigious college or a dance team, tune in because this episode is really going to help you out. We're going to do an overview of all the materials you're going to need to acquire, accumulate, get together, organize, and clean up so that you can get into your dream school. So grab a pen and paper and let's get started. This episode is an overview. It is meant to help you look ahead, look a year or 2 years into the future and start to plan out the last 2 years of your high school career, or even last year. But if you start your junior year, it'll make some of these, or the summer before your senior year, it'll just make your life a little bit easier. So the first thing you need to do is gather your materials. We've already talked in several other videos about how you need to do the research about the different universities. This way you can create some bulk material and you're going to save yourself a lot of stress and time. So you're going to make sure you gather all of the special requirements for each school so that you have that available. And now you're going to check mark and see who has the same requirements and where you might have to just make very slight adjustments. Maybe sometimes they might want you to slate and another time they don't. So is that something where you don't have to redo all of it, but the time when you don't need the slate, you can just cut it off? Hopefully, and that'll get into your video editing. So that first step is to gather all of the requirements so you can bulk create and save yourself a lot of time. The second very important topic today is your dance resume. Maybe you already have a resume. Maybe you've applied for a job, but the dance resume is a little different. Your dance resume is your ticket to showcasing your accomplishments and your dance journey. Include details about your training, such as all the different styles you've trained in and maybe how many years you've trained in them. You can take or leave that one. That's optional. And then definitely include any notable instructors. So obviously you're going to include your home studio, but then include any guest artists, preferably artists who maybe know your name, maybe even have your phone number. If not, that's okay. You can throw some workshop teachers on there as well, but it's definitely better if they're a real resource for you. And finally, don't forget to mention special performances, community involvement, choreography that you've set, definitely any leadership roles. If you've taught at your dance studio, even assisted in classes at your dance studio, definitely include those. And remember, as a dancer, even though this is your dance resume, we still would like to see leadership roles in other parts of your life as well. So if you were like president of student council, put that on there. That shows something about your character. Even though it's not talking about your tondus, it shows that you, first of all, got elected president, you did the work, and that you're a leader. All right, next up, let's talk about photography. You need to do step one, gather all information to see what pictures you need to take. And I would do that before you pay somebody a bunch of money and go take some professional photos. So if you are going to take professional photos and pay somebody to do it, I am going to encourage you to make sure you do a couple of these things. You're going to need a headshot. Clean look, not a lot of wrinkles in your clothing. Make sure you can't see your bra. Make sure your jewelry is not overpowering your face. Make sure you have a strong personality in the photo. And that's what we see. We see you for who you are instantly, and you look fabulous. That's your headshot. Clean headshot. Next up is going to be like a body shot. Something that's your whole body. You can be standing in a cute pose or maybe a dance photo. Again, clean picture that shows your personality. I would be careful with all the serious artsy photos because right now in this position, you're trying to get into school. So you want to showcase your technique, you want to showcase your personality, and that you want to come to the school. So just what I would do looking back is I would make sure I'm smiling in my photos. The next thing that you probably want to do, but look at your requirements, is The two common ballet pictures are a first arabesque and a tendu à la seconde. Dress like a ballerina and take these two pictures. Now, if this isn't with your professional photographer, that's fine. Do it at the studio. But you do want to make sure you have great lighting so that you look amazing and good photo quality. So make sure the hair is clean, hairsprayed, and I would just go pink tights, black leotard, clean ballet shoes, because that's the most typical picture. Again, this is generalizing to help create a bulk product, but you might need that, you might not. So that's when you could wait if you wanted. And then one other tip with that, when you take your pictures, guys, you don't want to stand directly on the wall. You want a little bit of space. It's just part of taking a picture that when you're right against the wall, it just gives a bad dimension. And I'm not a professional photographer, but I know that. So just give yourself a little space from the wall and it helps create a more crisp, clean photo. If you aren't getting a professional photographer, that's fine too. Our phones are amazing. Just make sure, try to get a good photo first. Like, don't only depend on editing and filters. Like, have someone take a good picture of you. Make sure that you're all put together. You're not standing directly on the wall. You come off. Maybe you can get your phone to blur the background a little bit. It gives it that like a little bit more crisp, professional look. If you took your pictures all together, you took a headshot, you got a body shot, or a dance picture, maybe many dance pictures, and then a tendu à la seconde and a first arabesque. Okay, now on to the videos. This is definitely one of the hardest parts of the application process because it's going to be really time consuming, but it's also where you get to shine. Yes, it is. You're going to want to start gathering clips from your solo performances, group routines, other dance projects you've been involved in. Make sure your videos are of high quality and showcase your musicality, your technical abilities, and your personality, your stage presence. In these videos, you're going to start looking for, you need to make sure that you are the one focused in the frame. You are in the center, or you have the light on you, or you're going to have to edit it and point an arrow to you saying, "This is me." And that just starts to get a little tricky. Either make sure that it's videography of just you, or that you are clearly the center of the frame or the one in focus in your video. That part's easy because that's material you already have, you've already done. The tricky part is when you are going to have to start filming for all these pre-screens and first parts of the auditions, because it just gets a little time consuming and they often all want different things, but that's going to be a really important place to find out who has similar requirements, so you don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Or maybe they ask you to wear something different or something like that. But the combination could be the same. So then in that recording session, you're going to bring those outfits, do the same thing back to back. That's what you're going to do there. First, we've said you need to gather the information to help you bulk create. You're going to need to build a dance resume. You're going to need to take or gather your photos, and then your videos. And finally, the last step is ask for help. Ask your peers, your teachers, your friends for feedback. There's no room for error. I'm sorry, I take that back. There is no room for grammatical errors at this point in your life. If you have grammatical errors, it means that you haven't looked it over, you rush through it, and maybe you don't care as much. So if I'm looking at two applications, this one has spelling errors and this one has thoroughly been checked, I'm going to go with this one. Okay, it just shows more attention to detail, and that is an area you cannot afford to skimp out on. Ask for help or reach out to people like me who do this for a living. As you're putting together your portfolio, remember to keep it professional and polished. Pay attention to details like formatting, spelling, and grammar. Ooh, you do not want to have any grammar errors. That says to me that you just completed this last night. You just started working on it. You have not fine-tuned it. You haven't checked it again and again and again. And that's why I'm saying if you are a junior, you can build your resume today. Because my resume that I have, I built it probably when I was 19 years old, and it's still nearly the same. I always update it, and I've added a graphic design version, but it's very simple to just put in a new job and take out something old from high school because the formatting is there, because I know it works, and it's made my life a lot easier. So you can do that now and just add in a few things once it's time to send it off. And there you have it. That is your overview guide to help you create that timeline and make that senior year a lot less stressful. Thanks for watching Dance Colleges and Careers. All right, if you got at least one helpful thing out of this video today, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned because in our next week, we are diving into resumes. We are diving into that college resume, the college dance resume, and I'm going to talk about details, what you need, how to format it, and all the tips and tools you need to be successful in creating your dance resume. Until next time, keep dancing.